Today, I would like to begin by thanking Taking Action Global Climate Action Education for All for inviting me to take part in this important event. The massive interest and participation has really touched me and inspired me. I extend my recognition and my gratitude to all people who have made this event possible. And today, dear students, dear teachers, dear friends, I would like to just mention that bringing together people from 146 countries in a global classroom is really challenging. But when, we have common causes that bring us together, there is no impossible task, especially when young kids are involved. The first message I would like to share is on the importance of human interaction, a relationship. To a greater or less extent, the entire world is, beginning to come back from the dire consequences of the pandemic. But as students, educators, and citizens, we did not really give enough time or enough importance to promote and strengthen people-to-people exchanges before trying to get back to, business as usual. While cognizant of the value of human interaction when we returned to classes after the lockdowns, we sort of mainly focused on learning thematical subjects, math, science, geography. And although these are very, very important, we did not allow enough time or dedicated time or actions for students and teachers to share the experiences they lived at home while fearing COVID. We did not discuss how we feel as individuals, the impact of the interactions at home, or how we could not see, greet, or, hug our loved ones. Now, we recognize the need to develop these spaces for cultivating joint efforts, common interests, and problem solving to make our lives easier and to regain confidence in the interaction. Therefore, it is important to reinforce the development of competencies, especially competencies for life in all grades and also among teachers. In competencies, we bring together knowledge, skills, and attitudes in problem solving, especially addressing and solving, everyday problems by negotiating, agreeing, or even agreeing to disagree. As an area of common interest to the world, climate change is the glue that brings us together for a common cause. It is a threat to all of us, and we need to do something about it. I come from Costa Rica, a small country in Central America, where I am now the Minister of Education. If you close your eyes, you can imagine Costa Rica. You can think of us as a peaceful country, one without an army. Yep, no army. No army for 74 years already. That's true. Our army basically consists of our students and teachers. That's the real army. You can imagine us also as a green country full of wildlife, mountains and beaches, bright green frogs, amazing snakes, huge whales, iguanas lying under the sun, and the rainforest. Don't forget the rainforest, filled with insects, tons of insects, orchids, monkeys, pumas, and colorful birds. This is possible because Costa Ricans learn to be bioliterate since we're children. And bioliteracy is a way of life in which we grow up understanding and valuing nature, the need to respect it and to have a harmonious relationship with nature. Can you imagine that in the 70s, when your parents were in school, Costa Rica only had 34% of forests in its territory? This trend was totally reverted through joint actions between governments, companies, communities, non-state organizations, and the citizens. The work of many stakeholders contributed to an extraordinary result that today sets out an example to the world. And today our forests cover 52% of the territory. This is an amazing achievement. And to protect these forests, we need to prepare ourselves in eco-literacy or bioliteracy. Generations of Costa Ricans have been, in a continuous process of discovery and learning knowledge on environmental regeneration. Now, this means we need to replenish and replace what we have destroyed from nature. It's not only about conservation, so that future generations can continue to benefit. That means education plays the main role in developing such responsible citizens. Education has allowed new generations and Costa Ricans to care for natural ecosystems as part of their DNA, as part of their lives, and this has become an integral part of our national pride and spirit. One of the main challenges that we will assume with the educational reform that I am promoting, that I'm leading, is the promotion and strengthening of competencies for life, which I mentioned previously. The development of life projects by students. Each student should have his life project, and the close relationship with the community. We need to get closer to schools, closer to the community closer to the schools. We're going to focus on relevant topics such as reusing, recycling, replicating the great achievements that we have accomplished in terms of moratoriums, or what this means is prohibitions to deplete forests and lands, the protection of wildlife, our actions to decarbonize the economy, our production of energy from renewable resources, which is now over 90%. And also our foreign policy in defense of nature. Therefore, we have a flagship program which is called Ecological Blue Flag. And this is a national program which includes various categories for certification. For example, beaches, communities, and schools are included, and other entities. And this is using criteria on sustainability of resources. Our country is a worldwide successful case in how a state can develop its economy and the well-being of its people, while at the same time respecting environment and bringing public-private partnerships into this endeavor. Ecotourism, or payment for environmental services, are a living example of this. I finally would like to invite you to visit Costa Rica, even if it's in the imagination, to live the experience of pura vida, which translates in English as pure life. And it refers to the positive and respectful way of seeing and living in the world. And Costa Ricans, our Costa Rican way is that, pura vida. I encourage you to investigate the concept. I also want to invite you to join our efforts to turn our mindsets from negative to positive, to turn on the light together to end the education blackout.